What's up, Mod Squad, and welcome to my 2025 in the bag video. My bag is organized in a way where we have the lowest speed all the way up to the highest speed, and it goes from understable to overstable. For whatever reason, that just seems to work for me, and it keeps me organized so that I don't need to go digging looking for bags when I'm out on the course. First, let's talk about the bag that I use, which is of course the Grip Paul Macbeth PX1. The PX1 is a bag made in collaboration with Paul Macbeth and Grip. It features massive disc capacity, including a 23 disc bottom, a 2 disc storage pouch here, and a 5 disc putter pouch up top, which is just unbelievable. It's definitely for those tournament bags where you need to carry everything. The side pockets are both expandable. It's got 2 water bottle holders. It's super comfortable. Comes with a lifetime warranty. I cannot explain how much I love these Grip bags. And this PX1 might be my all-time favorite. If you're thinking about getting a new bag, remember to use the code MILES10 to save yourself 10% and to help support me. Before we get into the disc talk, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support. If you're liking these videos, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's dive right in. First up, let's talk about putting putters. I've been putting with Yeti Pro Aviars for years now, and they are my all-time favorite. I've tried to switch to a beadless Firefly before, and it's an amazing disc, but for whatever reason, I cannot get over how confident I am with these Yeti Pro Aviars. They've got a bead on the bottom, which I find super comfortable for my hand. They're puddle top. They have some stiffness, but they're grippy, and they stick to those chains. Since I live in a colder climate up here in Canada, that flexible plastic seems to just be super nice, especially in those late fall to winter rounds. I always carry 2 for those casual and practice, but what I've been trying to do is simplify my bag as much as possible. So the pink one is my putting putter only, and the yellow one I'm using for more of my approach shots, but when I'm casually practicing, I'll use both to putt inside the circle, no problem. Next up, let's talk about throwing putters and approach discs. For this slot, I only use pigs. I've got a super seasoned Color Pro pig, which is my all-time favorite throwing putter. It's a hyzer flip to turn disc now since it's so seasoned in. So I've got a new R Pro pig to fit that kind of straight to stable spot. Shout out to Marc Andre for giving me this one. This one is super straight with just a little bit of fade at the end of the flight. It's good on forehands as well too, whereas I only use this one for touchy forehands since it's so flippy. For that overstable throwing putter or the approach disc, I have this amazing Star pig. It's my absolute favorite pig that's ever been made. It's just so reliable and always wants to fade at the end of its flight. It's great on both backhands and forehands. I find it super comfortable. And I like it so much that I even have a dyed one coming in here shortly, and I can't wait to share that with you. Next up, let's talk about the mid-ranges that I use. First up is this super flippy but incredible Color Glow Metal Flake Champion Innova Stingray. The Stingray is a super flippy mid, and I love this thing for crazy turnovers. They can even do rollers. If you're in a pickle and scrambling, this thing is great too for those pinched off shots where you don't have a run up. But in a headwind, you definitely aren't going to be going for this disc. For that straight mid-range shot, I'm always going to be reaching for the Mako. I have 2 in the bag. This one, the Disco Goose, is probably my favorite. It's a Metal Flake Champion Color Glow Mako 3 that has been seasoned in now that I can hyzer flip it or throw it flat with a bit of turn at the end of its flight, and it can go a country mile. This thing is amazing. If I need something that's a little bit straighter, I'm going to be going for the Halo Champion Mako 3. These Bill Nye edition ones, they're incredible. This disc will just go straight, maybe a bit of turn if I throw it flat, but typically a little bit of hyzer makes this thing go super straight with just a little bit of finish at the end of its flight. If I need some beef on the mid-ranges, then I'm going to my Cayman. This is a disc that is great for both backhands and forehands. I like the Champion Caymans because I find that they're very flat top, which is very comfortable for forehands. This is a great disc to use for approaches as well too, if I need something that's a little bit more overstable than my pig, or if I need something to go just a little bit further. Next up are fairways, and I have a bunch of them, so sit down and get ready. First up is this Halo Nexus Leopard 3. This thing is super flippy. It's pretty much only a roller, but I like to have this disc in the bag as kind of that utility slot for when I'm pinched off and only have a standstill shot. I can still get full distance with this by flipping it up, having it turn and ride, even without a run up. Next up is a Star Leopard 3, and this disc is incredible. If you've never thrown or don't own a Leopard 3, this is the public service announcement. Go out there and get one. This disc is perfect for those hyzer flips and big turns, and I can get it out to about 330 feet. So yes, this disc, even though it's a 7-speed, flies super far. When I need a bit of stability in that fairway slot, but I still want a disc to go straight, I'm reaching for this Color Glow Champion T-Bird 3. This thing flips flips up, goes straight, and sometimes has a little bit of finish, but usually this thing is just an absolute laser beam. When the wind starts to pick up, I'm always going to grab the T-Bird 3. This Halo Star one seems to be that perfect stability where it just goes straight with a little bit of finish at the end of its flight. This disc is super special to me because I even got my buddy Nico Forbes to sign it. This is one of my go-to fairway drivers because I know it's never going to turn over. It's super reliable. Next up, we're going to get into that kind of fairway utility slot. So first up is one of my all-time favorite discs, the Roadrunner. This is a max weight Halo Star Roadrunner that is great for those air shots that you need a whole bunch of turn, or for those roller shots because it gets to the ground quick and it just holds onto those roller lines so well. If you're just starting out and you want a disc that'll fly forever, or you're trying to learn highs or flips, I can't recommend this disc enough. It's a great disc to learn on, and if you're starting out, it might even be your furthest flying disc. Now, this wouldn't be an Innova bag if I didn't have some Firebird. I carry 2 Firebirds, one more beat in, one more overstable, and I almost exclusively use them for forehand. First up is the 2021 Firebird. This is my straight Firebird that just likes to dump right at the end of its flight. This thing has been beat in so it can get a lot of distance before it starts to fade out at the end. It still is super reliable, but in the headwinds, I'm going to beef up to the next one, which is a 2019 Firebird. The 2019 Firebird is an absolute meat hook, and I love it for that. I can't get as much distance, but I know that it's always going to come back no matter which line I throw it on, or if I kind of give it a bit too much angle. This disc is great for those forehand flex shots, highs or spikes, or to get a good skip around a corner. Finally, we're into the distance drivers, and that might be my favorite slot. I've been throwing race since I got into the sport, and they're my all-time favorite distance driver. I carry 4 in my bag, and each has a very specific slot. Starting with one of the oldest discs in my bag, this is a lightweight Star Wraith that is super seasoned. I can only throw this in tailwinds, or if I give it a whole bunch of hyzer, then it'll flip up. Otherwise, this thing is a turnover machine that'll get me out to 400 feet, no problem. Next up is a slightly heavier and slightly newer Star Wraith. This one is absolutely dead straight. I can hit this as hard as I want and as flat as I want, and this disc will turn just a tiny bit, but then fade right back onto that line. If I need to hit a gap, or if I need to hit just a perfectly straight line, this is the disc that I'm reaching for every single time. Now, when the wind picks up, or if I need just a little bit more stability, I'm reaching for the Halo Star Wraith every single time. At 171 grams, this is my absolute favorite run. It's got a bit of a dome to it, but man, this thing just flies perfectly. It'll go straight, but then have a reliable fade right at the end of its flight. When the wind really picks up, there's no other choice other than a double G Wraith. The Garrett Girthy Halo Star Wraiths are always beefy and super reliable. This one in particular has a crazy amount of dome, and even though it's pretty new to the bag, I'm already trusting it so much in those windy conditions. Last but not least are the 2 fundamental discs in any Innova bag, which is, of course, the Destroyer. Shout out to my friend Nick Smith, who gave me this incredible Echo Star Destroyer. Max weight, this thing is incredible. It's slightly understable for standards of the Destroyer, but it still goes straight and then has that reliable fade at the end. I'll reach for these discs if the wind starts to pick up because, well, the Wraith just can't handle those types of headwinds. Destroyers are still relatively new in my bag, so I'm still learning how to use these discs, but so far I absolutely love it. Last but definitely not least is the Calvin Heimberg Halo Star Destroyer. This thing is an absolute beefcake. All it wants to do is get to the ground and go left on my backhands. That pretty much sums up my bag for 2025. There's a couple of molds that I got rid of this year because I found that I wanted to simplify my bag. This is probably what's going to be staying in my bag for the rest of the year, and I'm very happy with what I've chosen because I can execute any shot shape that I might need with every disc that's in this bag. So again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and as always, get out and throw.